All right, and let's go ahead and get started. So, hi everyone. My name is Catherine Capiello, and I am your teacher success manager here at BookCreator. I'm located out in Chicago. I've been with BookCreator for about 3 years now, and before BookCreator, I taught for about 9 years, and I've taught everything from kindergarten to 10th grade, different subject areas, different grade levels. And I love education. I love working with teachers, and I love BookCreator. So I actually use BookCreator in my classroom before working with BookCreator. And so hopefully today I can show you the amazing features we have to really enhance learning in your classroom. So today we are going to do a quick little demo over the different features that you're going to have access to. We're going to get you into your accounts. So if you've never created an account before, I'm going to show you how to do that. And if you have created an account before, we're just going to sign in to those accounts as well. And then we're going to go through those features. If you've used BookCreator before, hopefully you'll learn something new today, because I'm going to show you some of the new features that were released at the end of last year. And then if you're brand new to BookCreator, everything's going to seem new to you today. So that's amazing as well. Okay. At the end of the session today, you should be able to bring BookCreator back to your students. So you should be able to use it in your classroom starting tomorrow. You'll know how to set up your students, invite them to BookCreator, and get them up and rolling come tomorrow as well. Okay. If you have any questions after the fact, I will stick my email in the chat, and obviously you have Kim as well. She is wonderful and she can help you too, but feel free to also email me. It's just Catherine@bookcreator.com. I am also on Twitter. You can kind of see my Twitter handle right there, but I'll stick in the chat too if you are on Twitter. I always send out resources and example books and so forth on Twitter. Any of our updates, we always update on Twitter too. So it's just BookCreator_cat. Feel free to give me a follow. Let's go ahead and get started. So where you're going to start at today is going to be, let me grab the site and put this on here, app.bookcreator.com, and I'll stick that in the chat as well. And Kim, forgive me if I always forget, because I work with districts every single day. Are they signing in to app.bookcreator.com or somewhere else? Or anything?
Yeah, well, I missed part of what you were saying. I was taking attendance.
Oh, that's fine. Do they go to app.bookcreator.com or?
Yeah, they can go there. Yeah,
Okay.
they can go there. Yeah.
Okay. I know some school districts want them to go through Clever or through ClassLink, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, they can, but they don't have to.
Okay, perfect. So why don't we all go to today? You're going to go to app.bookcreator.com, so app.bookcreator.com. Or if you were sent a different link, you can feel free to use that link too. It's going to take you to the same place. When you go to app.bookcreator.com, just so you are aware, the first site that pops up is going to be an orange yellow page. That page is a student sign in. So make sure you're signing in as a teacher. So when I go to app.bookcreator.com, you're going to want to click on switch as teacher. So let me sign out and I'll sign in so we can do this together. If you already know how to do this, thank you for being patient. We'll just take a minute to do this and then we'll be right on track. So feel free to sign into your account. So it says student sign in. Right under here, it says switch to teacher. Make sure you switch to teacher. If you've accidentally already signed in as a student, make sure you sign out and then sign back in as a teacher, because we don't want to be students or you're not going to have access to everything. So sign out, sign back in as a teacher. Once you click switch to teacher, you should be signing in on a blue page with an owl on it, okay? Then you sign in with whatever associated with your school district. And you're going to want to be signing in with your school district email address, because that's what's going to be giving you the premium access, okay? So I'm going to sign in with Google. Sign in with Google. I'm going to sign in with my email. And what's going to do is it's going to prompt you, if this is your first time ever using BookCreator, it's going to prompt you to answer some questions. So just answer those questions. It's going to ask you what school site you're at. If you teach at multiple school sites, just pick one, doesn't matter. And then it's going to ask you to create a library. You can name that library whatever you would like. Your library, think of it as a classroom or a folder. You're going to invite students to this library. So you can name it your first names library, last names library. You can just say my library, period 1, science notebooks, whatever you want to use your library as. You can rename it later too. Then it's going to take you to that library. When you're in that library, if this is your first time, it will say there are no books in this library. And that reason why is because you've never created anything yet. So don't worry, it should say that. If you've used BookCreator before, it's going to take you to wherever you were last. So if you used this last year, it's going to take you to the last library that you were working in. So you'll notice here, I was just using this book. So it took me to the past library I was using, and this book was right there. Okay. I'm going to show you how to get out to the main screen, which is your teacher dashboard that you're going to be using probably a lot because that's where all of your libraries are going to live in your folders and so forth. To get to that screen, at the top left, there are 3 little lines. You're going to click on those 3 little lines, and that's going to take you out to your teacher dashboard. And if I am going a little fast for you, it is being recorded. So this is going to be emailed out to you. So feel free to rewind this if you need to, or if you need to just watch today, that's fine too. I encourage you to follow along those so that you can practice as we go through as well. On your teacher dashboard, this is, like I said, the main screen. You'll notice this is where all of your libraries are. If you're brand new, you're probably only going to have 2 libraries. You're going to have one library that says My Books with a lock sign on it. This is your private library that holds your maybe your top books that you want to have. You're not going to actually invite students to this library. The next library next to it is the library that you've created. And you'll notice I have a lot of additional libraries because I've started creating them. For the premium account, you have access to unlimited libraries. You can create as many as you want, and you have access to up to 1,000 books to create with your students. You can always archive a library, and then you can get more books back, okay? At the top, there are these little tabs right up here. These tabs we're going to quickly go over because they contain some important things that you might want to actually use. The first tab to the right of the Libraries tab is the Discover tab. A lot of teachers ask, do you have any example books? This is where you're going to find some example books of what students have created and what teachers have created. The top ones right up here are actually going to be templates that teachers have created that you actually can download into your libraries. So you can have a look at those. If you scroll down, this is where you're going to find examples by grade level that you can toggle through. In the middle, you're going to find books that you can click through here that are going to be filled with resources and ideas of how to use BookCreator in your classroom for particular subject areas or particular grade levels. There's also things for like graphic design and things like that. And then if you scroll down further, you're going to find uses for specific subject areas. You can't actually toggle through specific grade levels here, but you can kind of get the gist. We're educators, we can kind of figure out, is this middle school, elementary, or high school, so forth. So highly recommend checking these out. These have all been submitted to us. So the students, we can't actually see books on our end. These students have actually, or teachers have sent their student work to us to put on the page. Okay. To the right of the Discover tab is the Learn tab. If I click on the Learn tab, this is where you're going to find all of our support articles. I suggest checking out the Getting Started one. You can print out these support articles. You can email them to someone if they need help. It's going to help you just get started. Another one that might be really helpful to start out with is the Collaboration Support tab, because we're going to talk about collaboration today, one of our premium features. And then the Sharing Books one, because once students are done with their book, you're probably going to wonder, okay, how do they share this book? That's going to give you step-by-step instructions too. So those are the three main ones that are going to be helpful right now. If you click on one of these, there's also a search bar. You can just search any question you have or just a word, and then all these support articles are going to pop up for it. I use these all the time to send to customers or users that have all step-by-step instructions with pictures and videos that are really helpful. So if you do have a question, I highly recommend checking out that Learn tab because that's going to be helpful. It's what I'm probably going to send you to. So you can always just take it a step before and just find that too. That might be helpful. And then to the right of the Learn tab is our certification course. The certification course I've created with my colleague, John Smith, who's wonderful. He's the other teacher success manager. We've created these modules for you to work through. They have videos that we give you ideas of how to use a feature and then why you should use a feature with specific content, so forth. And then at the end, you'll take a quiz, which you should pass. If you pass, you'll receive a digital badge as well as certificate of completion. And then you can go back and use these videos with your students too. It's a great way to really get to know BookCreator and really get to use the features on your own time. It takes about 90 minutes. Some districts will actually use that certificate of completion for like a PD hour or 2 hours too, because it does take 90 minutes. So you could ask your district that too, if they will honor that. And to the right of the certification course is our App Store. The App Store has 8 additional apps that are additional features you can add on to our feature list. We're going to go through our features today and just think of these 8 as additional ones that you can add on if you would like. You don't have to use them. You can use them if you want as a teacher, and then you can also add them on for your students if you want. The only one that is not for students is going to be Bitmoji. The reason why is because you have to sign into Snapchat. So you probably know why we don't have it for students. It's just going to be for teachers. To do this, you're going to notice that there are little plus signs at the top of each app. So if you want to, let's say, use animated emojis, I'm just going to disable this app real quick. If you want to use animated emojis for you and your students, you're going to click on this little plus sign, and then you're going to click Enable App. The first time you click Enable App, that's going to enable it for you, and that's going to be on your feature list. So you'll have animated emojis now on your feature list. If you want to enable this for your students, you're going to enable it per library. If you want it in every single library you have, you're going to click Select All, and then all your libraries, any student that's part of that library will now have access to animated emojis on their feature list. If you only want it for specific libraries, then just click that specific library. So if I only want it for my reading and writing workshop group, I'll click on that one and then click Done. Then down here, I'll notice that it says enabled for me and added to one library. My suggestion for today is just add on all 8 for just you. So it's enabled for all of you for everything, and then get to know all of the apps. And then you can add them on for your students when you get to know them and you get to know the privacy policies. Some of these do have privacy policies that have age limits. The privacy policy, if you click on this little settings icon right here, it says app privacy and see details. If you click on see details right here, it will actually go over the privacy policy with you. And I can just quickly go over which ones have an age limit with you for you. So just so you know, Giphy, it's 13 and up. So anyone that's under 13 should not be using it on their feature list. They can view GIFs, and they can have a template that has GIFs in it that you have put in there so you're aware of that. If you have a book filled with GIFs for the students, that's fine. If you have a template that's filled with GIFs and you sent that to the students, that's fine. They just cannot have the GIF feature on their feature list, if that makes sense, okay? Another one that has an age limit is going to be 3D models. 3D models is going to be 16 and up. Okay, so same thing. They can play with a 3D model if you have given it to them. They can view 3D models in a book that you have given to them. They can watch you use a 3D model on the big screen. That's fine. They just cannot have 3D models on their feature list. Okay. The only other thing that has something is Canva, and Canva just asks for a parent permission slip to use it. A lot of school districts already have that signed in their agreement with their like tech district, but you can see in the settings, it just says, anyone under 13, only with consent from parent guardian. So if they're under 13, just make sure you have a parent guardian permission slip to use it. And like I said, a lot of districts already have that covered with their like tech form that they've used from the beginning of the year. Okay. All right, and we can go over these questions at the end. If you have any questions, I can answer them at the end too. We'll have some time. All right, let's hop back over to the libraries tab. And now I'm going to show you how to get your students into BookCreator, and then we'll go over the features. Okay. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you click into the library that you have created. Remember, students cannot join the My Books library, but students can join a library that you have created. So just pick a library you have created, and I'm going to scroll down to the library that I have created for today. Okay. Now, students can join two different ways, so I'll show you the two different ways. The first way is going to be through an invite code. The invite code is right up here above the book, and it says show invite code for others to join. If students have never used BookCreator before, they're going to every student is going to go to app.bookcreator.com, the same website that you went to. They're going to sign in with their single sign-on. If a student has never used BookCreator before, they're going to have a little box pop up, and it's going to say, what is your teacher's invite code? They're going to type in this invite code that's associated with that library. Every single library has a different invite code. So if you have 3 different class periods, each class period is going to have a different invite code. So make sure you give that class period the right one. Okay. They type in the invite code, they join your library. Their names pop up under everyone's books, and they're going to be authors. So all their names will pop up and you'll see them populating. If the student has used BookCreator before, maybe they used it with their teacher last year, they're already going to have an account. What's going to happen, they're going to sign in with their BookCreator account, and they're going to get into their account. They might go to a library, or they might go to their student dashboard. You're going to want them to go to their student dashboard, just like you have a teacher dashboard, they have a student dashboard. And they'll know how to use this, okay? They'll remember. What they are going to need to do is they have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of their screen. It's not going to be this far. I just have a million libraries, okay? They're going to scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and they have to find a button that says join a library. When they click join a library, which they probably have done before, so this should be repetitive for them, they're going to then have that same box pop up, okay? Then it says join an existing library, enter the code from your teacher, okay? Then they type in their code there. So if they've never used it before, it's going to automatically pop up when they sign in. If they used BookCreator before, they have to go to their student dashboard, scroll down, click join a library, and then the box is going to pop up, and then they join the library that way, okay? Like I said, the students that have used this before are probably, you might not even need to show them this. They might just know how to join the library, okay? Like I said before, all of these instructions are also under that Learn tab. So if you forget, click on that Learn tab and click on how to sign in. And we have step-by-step instructions. Okay. The other way is through QR codes. So if you teach the younger grades and you're thinking, my students cannot type in like letters on the keyboard, okay? We have QR codes. So If you click on your little icon right here at the top right, and you click on the little icon, you can scroll down and you can click on student logins. When you click on student logins, what's going to pop up, there's going to be print all QR badges. Before you click print all QR badges, make sure you just add the student names. So click add more students, type in all their names. You can just do first name, middle initial if you want to, add their names, and then print all QR badges. You can just hand each student, cut them out, hand each student a QR badge. I would like maybe stick them on a folder so they don't lose them or something, have them scan them. What happens when they sign in, they go to app.bookcreator.com, they click on the QR badge, they'll be able to see that little picture of the QR code. They'll click on that, the camera automatically pops up for them. So they don't have to click anything, it will just pop right up. They'll scan it and then they'll hop right into your library, okay? You'll also see their names right under here as authors, and then they can start making books. Once they start making books, you'll be able to click this new book button. So if they're teaching younger kids, you can just tell them, okay, you're going to click that little orange yellow button, and then they click on that new book button. Okay. Now they get to select what type of book they want to make. You can create these up here that have the basic features. These down here have comic features with the basic features. My suggestion, always pick the bottom row. It has every feature that we have, okay? To the right of the blank books, we also have templates. These are pre-made. They really help jumpstart creativity. They're awesome. I love the newspaper for current events. The photo book and the yearbook are great for yearbooks. The photo book, I had a teacher the other day, they're making travel diaries. They're in high school and they're learning about, I think in middle school or high school, they're learning about like the Western Hemisphere and they're doing like travel journals while they're learning about it. Really, really neat idea. I had a kindergarten teacher do a kindergarten cookbook and they all brought in their favorite recipe and they put together a cookbook, really cute. These are great for nonfiction text features, journals. I had a middle school student, they're writing like a character journal using that notebook for a journal. Down here, we have the antique one and the mono one have timelines that are great. And then the fantasy one is great for like a fantasy writing unit. I love that. And then the other ones are just great for additional presentation options. They're fun. Imagine doing a presentation with like a graffiti theme or the happy theme, retro theme. Really fun, different presentation options that like you can do a group project with. So just have fun with those. We make it really easy for them. So the texts are already selected for them. They don't have to go find the fonts and everything. They're all ready for them. They just go in and they edit. So they turn out really beautifully done. All right. And then the last thing we have at the top right, it says import book or PDF. We actually have a PDF editor, and this is new. You can drag a PDF, you can drag and drop, you can browse and upload from your computer, or you can import from Google Drive. So you can I'll show you really quickly if I wanted to, let's say, import this. I can download it to my computer, download it real quick. I'm just going to show you just what this looks like to import it. I can drag and drop it. And then I can pick which type of book I want to import it as. I'm not going to actually do it, but you can see how I can drag and drop it and pick it. And then I can edit that PDF. I can edit it. I can use the little fill bucket and color it. I can use the eraser and edit it and take things away from it. It's awesome. I can annotate on top of it. Really, really neat stuff. So I can select if I have like a 5-page PDF, I can select which pages I want. So I highly recommend using that PDF editor. Okay, let's pick a book. I'm going to pick the landscape one. And let's go here. Okay. Now we're going to go through the features. So what's great about BookCreator is, I've said this before, it's so simple. There's 3 buttons up here and 1 button down here. Those are the 4 buttons we're going to go over today. We have a plus button, which just means you're going to add something to your page. We have an inspector button, which means we're going to change something about our page. We have a play button, which means we're going to read our book. And we have a plus button with a comment bubble, which means we are going to leave comments. Simple as that. Okay. So let's first, I want to change my background. And today I'm going to make, let's say what I'm going to do today. I want to make maybe a reader's notebook journal cover. Okay. So I want to change the background. And I have little comic backgrounds here because I picked one of the comic ones. I have anything recent I've used. I have different colors. And if I click this plus button here, I have all of these different colors I can choose from. I even have a hex code if you want to be fancy. I have different paper to choose from. I have different borders, different patterns, and different textures. So I'm going to go with this like watercolor paper because I think that's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to do that for my background. And now I'm going to add stuff to it. So the first thing I want to do with my notebook cover is I want to add text. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. You can see I can add images. I can add, so this is under media, images, camera, pen, text, and record. And you're also going to notice I have all these icons next to it. So if you're teaching the young ones, you can have like a little anchor chart in your room, put those up there, and they can learn those icons. I'm going to add text though first, and I have all these different fun texts to select from. I'm going to do this like boom text, and I'm going to write Catherine's reader's notebook. Okay. There. Okay. Now I don't like the yellow, so I want to change the color of it. So I'm going to click on here. Actually, I'm going to do reading notebook. Let's do that. Reading. There we go. Okay. I like the way that looks better. Now what I'm going to do is if I want to change the font or the color, I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on the inspector button because that means I want to change something. I can change my font. So I can scroll down. What's great about BookCreator is we have enough fonts. We don't have too many. So the students aren't going to be spending 2 hours trying to find a font, but we have enough that they can find like a cute font. Okay. I'm going to maybe make this smaller a little bit. I'm going to center it. There we go. And now I'm going to change the color. I'm going to do like maybe a recent color. Ooh, I like that one. Cool. Okay, Catherine's reading notebook. Now what I want to do is I want to add a picture. I want to add a picture of myself on it. So I'm going to take a picture of the camera. Now my camera sometimes works, sometimes it's broken. So hopefully today it's working. It's nothing to do with BookCreator. It's actually my camera because one of my little nieces was over and she wanted to pull it off the computer and it smashed. So hopefully it works today. Let's see. Hopefully it does. Oh, it's not working today. We'll still take a picture anyways. So take a picture. At least we got a picture out of it. Okay. Let me reset my camera so it doesn't break. Let's see, start video. There we go. Okay, cool. So we got a picture on it. And what's great about the picture is I can crop this. So if I want to change anything about the picture, I click on the picture, I click on the inspector button, and I can scroll down and click crop. I want to crop this picture because I don't want it this big. I have all these different little crop features right here. Or I can crop it myself. Let's scroll down, just get this picture in. Crop. Okay. Then I want to maybe like turn it a little bit, shrink this down. Out here. Cool. Okay. There's my little picture. Move this down a little bit. All right. Then I want to add maybe some images around it, maybe of some of my favorite things. Okay, think of our students, what they might add to it. So I'm going to click on images. These images are coming from the Pixabay Safe Search. So you can feel safe about what they're adding. You'll also notice, so they're copyright free, available for reuse, and they can also edit the images. You're also going to notice that there's a little microphone here. Wherever you see this microphone, I should have talked about this on the text too. There's a microphone there too. This is where you can find speech to text. And it's great if they don't know how to spell something too. They're not asking you, tell them to click the microphone and it will spell it out for them too. Or you can upload an image from your computer. So things I like to do, let's love dogs. So I have a French bulldog. So I'm gonna say French bulldog. Take French bulldog. See, there's a little guy. Ooh, I love this one right here. So let's add this one. Oh, this one's cute too, but we'll add a French bulldog. Add this one on and we'll crop that one. Go Frenchie. Make a little collage. And maybe I'll just add one more for today. Obviously, students might add more, and I'll say, I love to read, so I'm going to put in books. Okay, and maybe we'll do this one. This is cute. Books, you can see how beautiful these images are too. Books. This one, I'll just put this one there. So we have French bulldogs and books, a little bit about me, okay? Then I want to record my voice. So I'm going to click on record right here. I'm going to click record, start recording. Catherine's reading notebook, period 1. Maybe it's class period 1. I can play it to see if I like it. If I do, I can click use recording. I can add this to here if I want to, so forth. It's great for demonstrating understanding. There's so many ways that you can use that. Okay. Also in the camera, I'm sure you saw, I won't play it again, but there was a recording video option too, so they can record video, which is great for that. All right. And then on the next page, I can do my reflections. Okay, so that was maybe my Read Notebook page. This page, maybe I want to add a picture through the pen tool, okay? On here, I have all these different colors I can use, or I have stuff called magic ink. All these magic ink colors, everyone loves magic ink. I have a pen, a paintbrush, a crayon. I have a highlighter. I love highlighter for annotating. And we have something called auto draw. Auto draw is great. So maybe I'm drawing, let's say, a sun. So I'm gonna start drawing a sun. And look, it's trying to guess what I'm trying to draw. So not a cherry. Not a fan. There we go, a sun. So it's trying to, if you have students that say, I can't draw, guess what? I have auto draw. Maybe, oh, I love this flower. I'm gonna do the flower instead. This flower's cute. So this fun flower, and I can go to my fill bucket, fill in my flower. I have this really pretty flower. We also have emojis, so I can add an emoji if I want to. I can even search flower on the emoji. I have all these flowers. I can add this flower to the page too if I want to. They can just be as creative as they want. Okay. So all these pictures I can add. Then to the right, I have shapes. So click on shapes. I have all these different shapes I can add. But then up on the top, I have a bar that says search for anything. I love this for vocabulary. Let's say one of my vocabulary words was, maybe we're in math and we're doing a math journal. And my thing was a right angle. Maybe I'm adding this to my journal. Sorry, I have my phone on. Let me silence that. Maybe I have a right angle and I want to add this to my journal. I can add a right angle. I can change the color. I love this color, if you can tell. Or if I want to add, let's say, a dragon to my book. I was working with a student and they wanted to add dragons to their book. I can add this big dragon to my book. So many different options for what you want to add to your book. You can add anything. It's filtered, so don't worry. But you can add different things for your book. Okay. And then down here I have all these comic features. You can make anything into a comic, which I love. Science, math, social studies, ELA. You can use graphic novels. There's so many things that you can do with comics. So you can do an about me page. It's great about here. You can change the background. I can do this little watercolor one again. And you can fill these. If I click inside, I fill it with an image, take a picture, pull a file, pull from Google Drive. So many things that you can fill them with. And then we have all these fun comic features down here. So I encourage you to explore those. We have like a speech bubble. We have all these fun comic stickers. So they can have so much fun with those. And then last, under more, now I shouldn't say last, under this feature list on here, we have that more button. This is where all the apps are. So where we have animated emojis. I should add that to my cover page. Those would be so fun on my cover. Imagine your students, if I go to my cover, them getting to make their journal page and add their animated emoji. I'm sure they would have so much fun with a reading notebook and getting to do a fun cover page. And I can copy paste. There's my cover. You can just be creative with it, whatever they want. You can also, we have Giphy, do GIFs. You could do a writing prompt with a GIF. So much fun with that. 3D models. I won't go into all of these apps because we could do a whole webinar on just apps. Bitmoji, Canva. I could do a whole webinar on Canva too. Canva's amazing. Google Drive, Google Maps, feedback stickers. You can also embed, pull a file from the computer. You can embed here. You can embed a YouTube video. You can embed other apps. You can embed, if you use Google Forms, Google Docs. You can embed anything with a link. You can embed another BookCreator book. So many things that you can embed in here for students to use too. Anything with a link, just paste the link there and press confirm, and that will embed right inside the book for you. Different web pages and so forth. Okay. Now down here, the commenting button or whatever. When I click on this commenting button, this is where you can add feedback for students. When I click on add comment, I can add text feedback. So I can say, I love your cover post. I can also add a video. I can add an audio clip. I love your cover and I can't wait to read your reflections. And students can then play it. I love your cover and I can't wait to read your reflections. They can also pause it and then make a correction and then replay it.
Hey, Catherine, can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So the kids so if they're creating their book inside of the library you set up for them, right? And so if you can see all the books that they've started in the library as the teacher, and then so all these things can happen while they're working on it. You don't have to wait till they've finished it and all that stuff, right?
Yes, so it's all live. So you can go in while they're making edits or while they're creating, you can go in and start making feedback while they're creating too. Yeah, and so you can I won't go over every single one, but you can leave an emoji, an animated emoji, a GIF, or these little cute little feedback stickers. And then what happens is they get a notification. So while they're working or while they're finished or whatever, they'll get a notification, and the notification is right here in their library, this little bell right here, and it will be under unread, and it will say like Miss Capiello left a comment, and it will start the comment and it will show the page it's on. So I will be able to click that and it will take me directly to that page. And on the page, the comments will pop up. And then I will be able to see all those comments. And now me as a student, as long as commenting has been turned on in the library or for that student, I can now comment back. So I can then leave comments, or I can like maybe do a little like emoji or something back to my teacher. You can turn off commenting for a library, or you can disable it for a student. So let me show you how to do that. If you want to disable it for a student, all you need to do is go into a book, and there's a little settings icon right here. You click the settings icon and it says allow students to comment. That student, you can just disable it. When you disable it, what will happen, it says student commenting is disabled just for that student. You can go back and you can change it at any given time. If you want to change commenting for an entire library, so you want to just turn it off for all students, all you need to do is when you create a library, or you can go into library settings. With library settings in a library is this little settings icon which says library settings. There's a button, if you scroll down, it says add comments. You can just toggle that off. And it says students will be prevented from posting new comments. They will still be able to see any existing comments and any new comments from you. So they'll still see the feedback and get notifications, but you can disable it for every single student in the library.
So they, if you leave it on, then they can comment on each other's at any time?
No, that only happens if you've turned on collaboration, which we'll get to in a second. Someone can't hear me. Is my mic going in and out? No, it's just, it sounds like it might be just you, unfortunately. Okay, so that's the commenting. And then that's a great question that she has asked though. So can students comment on each other's? Great question. That's like a great segue into what we're going to look at next. Yes, if collaboration is turned on. How you turn on collaboration, at the bottom of a book, students can collaborate on books at the same time. If you click on this little sharing options button, there's a button that says collaborate. When you click on collaborate, you can turn on collaboration for everyone in the library. If everyone is in a book at the same time, they could all leave comments in the book at the same time. That is the only time everyone could comment on a book at the same time. When everyone is in a library, you can also, there'll be a button here that says change. You could click change and you could select specific students. So maybe you want 2 students to peer edit a book. You could select those 2 students. Then those are the only 2 students, and you as a teacher that would be able to view those comments and leave comments. If a commenting is turned off though in the library, they will be able to collaborate in a book, but they wouldn't be able to comment in the book, if that makes sense. So commenting would have to be enabled for them to leave comments, and collaboration would have to be turned on. But the only time that students would be able to see the comments is if collaboration was turned on, and they would be in that book. Great question. And then the last thing is how you publish the book, so how you share the books, and that would be publishing. Same button. If you click on sharing and you click publish online, you can turn on publishing for students if you want to. Same thing in the library settings. It says publish their books online. I recommend only turning this on for upper grade students. Lower grade students, I would just publish it for them, or have like a publishing party and turn it on when they're all doing it at the same exact time. Otherwise, I would just leave it off. There's no real point for them to do it. You probably will do it for them. So you turn it on, and then they click publish online, or you click publish online. You'll give your book a title. Students will only have the option to publish privately. You as a teacher have an option to publish privately or publicly. The only time I would really suggest publicly posting something would be if you have a template you want to share with others, because it is posted to like Google or any search engine. So if I searched your book online, you'd be able to find it. Takes a few days for it to publish, but you would be able to find it online. So just be aware of that. So I normally would always just use private. And then
what if like we wanted to share with parents? Would private still be okay, or would it be public?
Yeah, you still do private. It's still a URL link. It's still just a private URL link. And then you just share with them that private link. And then what remixing means, someone can download your book into their library. So if you want to share this book with a co-teacher, someone on your grade level, and you want them to get a copy of it that they can edit. So if you make like a template or something like that, you're going to want to turn remixing on, and then they can get a copy within their specific library. If you don't want them to get a copy, do you want to just turn that off so no one can download it? I'm going to turn mine on just so you can see. I'm going to click publish online, and then you're going to click copy link so you can get that copies right to your clipboard. And I'm going to click read online. The URL up here that I just copied is the URL that you would share with families. So you would share that link on like a newsletter, you would email that to a parent, you could make a QR code out of it if you wanted to. That's the link, and that's how they read their book. So I can click read now. I can now read my book. All the audio will work and so forth. If I have like older students and use Google Classroom, they can share to Google Classroom right here. I can embed on my website. I can print my book. If I want to download it into a library, that's where remixing works. I can click remix, and now I can add an editable copy to my BookCreator library. So if like a co-teacher or something, they could download it into a library and copy to library. Okay, but that's the URL that you would use. And what's great about it is if I go back to the library, once I publish it, you'll always have the URL. You'll see a little globe right here. You'll always have your published book right there. You can just click on that little published globe, and you can just click copy link again. And you'll always have that link that you can just copy once it's published. You can always unpublish it too. Just click stop publishing and it'll be unpublished. Students can also edit their books while it's published, and it will automatically edit that up the published copy. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer? And feel free to just unmic yourself. Unmute yourself, sorry.
Hey, I have a question, Catherine. You know, the remix thing, can't you grab some of those books that were sort of, I don't know if they're templates or what they are, and remix those, like download it and just edit it how you want, right?
Yes, yeah. So if you go to like the Discover tab right here, there's a whole library right here that's books to remix. You can find books in here. If any book that has that remix button, you can download and then edit those books.
Can you just can you click on it? Can you just show that you click on it and then, and then you just grab it, and how does that exactly work?
Yeah, so if I wanted like this digital portfolio, I can click on my digital portfolio. And then I find the button that says remix. So I say read now.
So are you doing this as the kid, the student, or as the teacher?
As a teacher.
The teacher, and then you allow all the kids to open this up and then also remix it themselves, right?
So you as a teacher are remixing it, and then the students, you would have to download this copy into your library, and then the students make a copy of it.
Okay.
And then I would like copy it into, I can make a copy into the library I had today. I find it. I think it was called I'm reluctant. Here we go. Copy to library. Go to library. And there it is.
So then, so whatever's inside of it, you just open it up and as the author, I guess, and just change whatever pieces you need to change.
And now I can edit this whole thing. So if I want like a different, like and then I can unlock it. So do you see those lock buttons? If you go to the inspector button, I can just press unlock. And now I can edit this. So if I want like, maybe I want, I don't want orange. Maybe I want, well, those, I want those lines, but maybe I want like pink with orange lines. There you go. I can do a pink portfolio now. Maybe I want these like higher. You can do some really cool stuff with it. And then like, then you can edit my off by like, now you can add Catherine. So your students can do this. And then they can make their whole little portfolio and then they can edit all this stuff. So they can go in and edit their name and all that stuff. Draw a picture of yourself. I can start drawing and just take the pen tool and so forth. So the students, all they do is they just make, when you have a copy, all they do is they click on this little book button and they say copy book. They do copy book and they put it in the same library, which is highlighted in blue. And then it will say copy, and then they just name it their, I would say name it their name. So like Catherine's book or whatever. And then they would say buy and then their name. And now they can edit their copy. They can't edit your copy. They can only edit that copy that they've made a copy of. And during that time, when they're making copies, I always go into settings and like in the settings icon where it says read each other's books, I always turn that off because I always like them focusing on that, like their own books. Because if they see all these copies going, I'd be that kid that'd be like, what's going on? Like, why are all these books popping up? You know what I mean? So if they focus on their own books, if you just turn off read each other's books, turn that off, then they only focus on they only see your books and then their own book. So then they're not seeing all the other copies pop up. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a question. Excuse me. Let me start my video. You were talking about the students collaborating. Does the teacher have to change and allow that for it to be shared for them to collaborate, or do the students click share and then select the students that they're collaborating with?
The student, it doesn't have to be the teacher. If on the library settings, it says allow students to turn on collaboration. You can actually turn that off. If that is off, then the teacher has to do it. If you have this on, the students can actually do it themselves.
Okay. Because it sounded like if you wanted them to share, but they're creating the whole thing, then they would have to create that first book. And then you would have to go in to share and select who they're sharing it with. So then that seems like it'd be downtime, unless it was a book that they were going to copy. But even if they're copying it, you would still have to wait until they actually made the copy before you could go in and change it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like they would have to make the copy, or they would have to make the new book. They would have to click new book first and like start creating the book. But if you teach older students, and you trust them to turn on the collaboration or like peer edit or select this other student that's going to edit with them, you can just turn on collaboration on for them, and they can go in and select the students that are going to work with them in that book.
Okay. And then is there any way, because I know this happens where kids do something and then things start getting deleted. Is there a way to go back and undo or version history, things like that?
So there's not a revision history, unfortunately, yet. That's been a question forever. We're hoping eventually we will have one. There is an undo button. So if a student accidentally was to delete this, they can, if I was like, oh my gosh, I just deleted that, they can click undo and it will populate, but they have to do that then. That's the only thing that they have to, it's not like an undo that they accidentally did like 5 steps ago. Yeah, and there's not if someone was to inappropriately do something, the only time we do have a deleted comment. So when they're commenting, if a student was to delete this, we have under the all comments, there's a forever deleted comments. So you can always see deleted comments.
Okay.
And a teacher, and you can like restore, a teacher can, like, I can edit this. A student can't edit a comment. They can delete a comment, but they can't edit comments. So that's another thing that you can talk to them about too.
Okay.
Hey, can I just add something?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, well, first of all, thank you, Catherine. That was awesome. I love this program so much, but I wanted to tell everybody and make sure they know that we're getting a free pilot this year from BookCreator. So it's really important that you spread the word, but especially tell your administrators, because when they go to decide on what software to get next year, they ask the principals first. And so like we had Brain Pop, and they asked the principals, and not one principal mentioned Brain Pop, so we didn't get Brain Pop. So I've been bugging everyone this time to make sure if you want to get BookCreator, make sure you tell your administrators, and so that we can try to get it for next year, and we need to do that pretty soon. So try it out and decide if you like it or not, and then spread the word, because that's really important. I think this is a really important one. We spend a lot of our money on stuff like that's just kind of like drill and kill and stuff that the kids kind of have to do. Whereas this, I think, is more creative, and we don't have enough stuff like that. We have this, and we have WeVideo, and not a whole lot of other stuff. So I think that's really important. I hope that's important to you guys too.
Hey, Kim, didn't we already have BookCreator for a couple of years, or is this the first time we have the premium version?
Right, this is the full version. I've before pushed for people to use the free version, which there's a ton of stuff in the free version. It's still really awesome in the free version, but this is the first time we've had the full version at our fingertips, and I want to keep it there.
Yeah, that's really smart about talking about advocating for it, because I loved Brain Pop, and then we lost it because we didn't squeak about it. So
well, and I know I've got to learn that lesson too, because I just think, oh well, everybody knows, so of course the bosses know, and they don't always know unless we tell them. So we're maybe we can try to get Brain Pop back again. I don't know, we'll see. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, creativity is so important. I know when I was in the classroom, it was always when I got to it, but this is such a great way that, I mean, you can do so many things with it, and reflect. It's just a neat way to do like reflection journals in any classroom, and just get the students to be creative. And especially if you like Canva too, it's like a 2-in-1. There's so many things you can do with Canva and integrating it. I didn't even get to that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I highly recommend checking out the Canva section of it too.
Mm-hmm. Go into the Discover thing and look at books that have to do with your grade level or your subject area, and just because I've spent hours in there just looking at them, they're amazing, and that alone will give you a million ideas, and then you'll have a bunch of questions like, how do you do this and how do you do that, and just email me or email Catherine, or we'll help you out with that. So I really appreciate all you guys coming, and I think it's a hopeful space to be right here in BookCreator and creativity and all that. So happy bookmaking.
Yes, yeah. Happy bookmaking, everyone. Thanks, everyone. And I'll send
Thank
this
you.
recording to you tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Catherine. No more questions? Everybody good? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks a lot,
Thank
Catherine.
you,
That was
Catherine and
awesome
Kim.
as usual. Thank you.
you. Have a good evening, everyone.
You too.
Bye.